What's going on, everybody? My name is Justice. I'm with my guy.
It goes poppin'. It's your boy Tyaire. How y'all doing?
And you're watching and listening to the Silky Boys podcast, the Beats podcast, out right now for your sports news and what's going on in the culture. Sorry, how you feeling this week, my boy?
I'm good, bro. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good this week, man. I'm probably gonna go see the family this weekend, end the week off right, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Dope. Let it hear it, bro.
So let's get right into it. NBA season, of course, is finished, but that doesn't mean we don't have breaking news. Looking ahead to next season, NBA governors had their meeting this past Friday. Looking ahead, we're probably going to start the NBA season like around December, Christmas time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of owners that were pushing for the Christmas Day game to be the opener, and then it's also a group that went MLK Day to be the opener. Either way, that's sooner than we think, so it's going to be a quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround, and also with that, if we do start early, what they're looking at right now is December 22nd. That's what they're looking at right now. Instead of playing 82 games, we're looking at a decrease rather in 72 games rather. So this is something that has been kind of in the works for the past couple of years about potentially shortening the regular season that way to for potentially more playoff games. So how do you think this is going to affect the league?
I think I feel like it's just them really trying to adjust around the whole pandemic and all. I feel like they might try it out like a 72 game season just to see how it is, and then they might move on and go from there to see if they want to move the rest of the season just to limit on injuries and all the other travel stuff that's going on, because they already made so many different schedule changes over the year, like limiting triple headers like back to back on one night and then another night. So like they've been trying to make this schedule thing a thing for a long time. I just think the pandemic just helped them bring it to the forefront now because they have a reason to do it.
And also that you mentioned travel too. I was reading an article that said that potentially going forward to the next season, if you have teams that are on a West Coast road trips, they might just clear out all their West Coast games during that road trip. So for Eastern Conference teams, if they know they're going to play the Lakers and Clippers, they might as well just get it done on that West Coast trip for that week. So that's something that we're probably going to see, where it's similar to baseball, where travel to one series, play your series out there.
Yeah, but when it gets with that, that's where it gets a little bit tricky, because that's when like the West Coast teams are definitely harder. So that's like you saying, you playing the Lakers, Clippers, Warriors all in the same week. So I don't know if like Eastern Conference teams that are really contenders might like how they might feel about that. Like, we got to play all these teams in the same week. I don't think that would be fair to them, but I definitely could see them try to work around that.
I think it's probably more so going to be like associated with more of the cities. I think, in particular, like we just said with LA, but also with East Coast teams like playing the Knicks and the Nets, and probably like next week like the Celtics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because like those are all top teams. So I just don't know how like I feel like there will be players who start complaining about it. Like, oh, we have to play all these teams in the same span of a game. Yeah, it's players like LeBron might say we have to play the Nets or the Knicks or the Celtics in 3 day, like a week span. He might say that's not fair, but there's the same competitors that would say no, let's knock it all out in this span of time. Y'all did it in the bubble, you could do it here.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to face this team, and if you feel confident in yourself, just go out and play the game and just go try to win. Doesn't matter who your opponent is or who you're facing next, regardless of that. But so we have that little bit of news going on. Then we have possible trades, because off season's here. We have a couple of players on this list right now. Primarily, the list I'm looking at right now, the main one is Buddy Hield. Not Buddy Hield, rather Bradley Beal, potentially to the Warriors. Warriors have a top pick in this draft. They have Clay, Steph, Draymond all coming back, and they have Andrew Wiggins,
a former first overall pick.
John Wall is coming back healthy next season for Washington. If you're Washington, you might pull the deal. You might pull the trigger on this.
I would, because it's going to get to a point where it's like with the Rockets, or like where it's at with the Sixers now. Like, how much longer can y'all keep these two together if they're not going to produce? Like, we saw this for 4 seasons where they get to the second round and get bounced. So I think what the Washington's going to look at it like, hey, Bill, this is your chance to go play for a contending team, and we can get a young piece back for the future to build around. Bring Wall back, maybe mentor that young guy, like you said. It could be maybe a LaMelo Ball, or even if the Timberwolves don't select Anthony Edwards, we don't know what they do with that pick, then maybe it'd be Anthony Edwards coming in at that 2 pick, and they could build around that with John Wall and Andrew Wiggins and whoever that pick is, instead just break it up. Because at this point, I don't think Bradley Beal and John Wall are going to get it done. Like, we saw a good 4 to 5 season sample of what that is, and I think that's all that's going to be at this point. Like, the East has moved on, teams that got stronger, the Nets are building stronger. The Celtics are growing. The Bucks are there, and then we got the Heat coming off their championship run. We don't know if they might make a move for Giannis. So yeah, I feel like the time has just passed on the Wizards. So I could definitely see a build trade being made to either the Warriors. Yeah.
And for the Wizards, this is kind of where you want to be because if you're not contending, you're in this process of rebuilding. So better to get through it or really start the process right now. And even still, like you're in the East. You make one or two moves. Let's say they draft Anthony Edwards. He comes out and is actually a pretty decent player coming out the gate. Like you can make a run and potentially get into that 7-8 spot.
Exactly. And we don't know how it is going to be with the fans situation. So it's basically going to be a bubble-like atmosphere wherever you play at. It's going to be no crowd. So it's going to be like a pickup game. So players like Anthony Edwards might shine a little bit more, getting their first play as a rookie with nobody there. He can just really focus on ball. So that might just help improve his game already. Just like we saw people like Jamal Murray or like Donovan Mitchell improve when they were in the bubble. So that might carry on over to whoever the young prospect they pick.
And it's not only with just him, that's with this entire rookie class now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a rookie class that people have said, like, this isn't the best out the past couple of years. There isn't one single franchise-defining guy. There are a lot of quality players and potential good role players. But if you put those guys in a situation in a bubble where there are no fans, like you just said, and they're able to actually play ball and focus on ball, that confidence as a young player, as a young 19, 20-year-old, that's going to build and carry on and possibly even develop these role players into maybe even all-star caliber starter players now.
Exactly, because they have none of that jitterness or the butterfly that they would get at playing their first NBA game in front of 10,000 people. They could really just focus on ball, and I feel like this class is really going to benefit from that.
It's good for them.
Yeah.
But in other trade news, speculative news, Drew Holiday to the Nuggets. Potentially the Nets if they're willing to give up Karis LeVert. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Drew Holiday, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen. How do you think that team works?
I like it because it adds that wing defender that you need that Kyrie really isn't. So Drew Holiday can guard whoever that point guard is. If they play in the Warriors, Drew Holiday can guard Steph or Dame, whatever. And Kyrie can really just focus on getting the buck. He could play like that similar role, but a better, improved role of like what Shump played in for the Cavs or what Shump and JR really did for the Cavs. So I feel like that would really help him because he's a great defender and he can take some of that on-ball pressure off of Kyrie and KD and let them create within the offense. So that's great. And I feel like Steve Nash will really be able to work him into the offense easily, like flawlessly.
What do you think about him possibly going to the Nuggets?
The Nuggets, I could see it. He'll be a similar role. He'll play the same role for Murray. Just play that main on-ball defender for whoever the best guard is, so Murray can really just focus on getting the bucks. So like, it could be like Steph. Steph doesn't have to worry about guarding the number one point guard. Clay can do it, and Steph can go drop 30 in the game. So it's just that role for them.
We'll see what happens with that. How do you feel about Victor Oladipo going to the Lakers potentially? I saw a deal. Kuzma, Danny Green, I think like a future first-round pick for Victor Oladipo entering the final year of his contract.
I don't like it. I don't think the Lakers need a wing. They need a guard, somebody who can take that on-ball pressure off of LeBron so he doesn't have to be the point guard all the time. I don't think Victor Oladipo would work because he's not really a three-point shooter. So, like, he's going to be playing in the paint with LeBron and AD. Like, he has to drive to get majority of his buckets, and he's a mid-range type of guy as well. So, like, I feel like that shrinks the court a little bit for the Lakers, and, like, it just allows defense to close on them a little bit easier. So, I feel like they need more of like they've been talking about like a Chris Paul possibly, or even a Drew Holiday would be good for them. Just somebody who can stretch the floor out a little bit, who has a threat of a shot. Because I feel like ever since he came back from that injury, he hasn't really been a threat behind the three-point line. And I think they need somebody who can, at least you have to step out there and guard.
So let me pose this question to you. If the Lakers aren't able to re-sign Rondo, do they take another look at Victor Oladipo and try to make a trade for that? Because they do similar things. They are great on-ball defenders. They can create their own shot and they can organize an offense. I think Victor is a better three-point shooter than Rondo. So what do you say to that? Potentially if they lose him.
But was Rondo as big? How much did the Lakers give up for Rondo? That's the point. Rondo was a cheap signing. Like, you would have to give up something to get Victor Oladipo from the Lakers. I don't think giving up, even though Kuz really didn't show up in the playoffs, I don't think giving up Kuz will be worth it to get Victor Oladipo, honestly, at the end of the day. Because I feel like it won't work at the end of the day.
Okay. So you mentioned Chris Paul to the Lakers, Chris Paul to the Knicks. That's another storyline that's been going back to the last season. Now this thing is starting to be trending again more this year. You think they happen this year or not at all at OKC? Because OKC just did fire the head coach. So is this a case where Sam Presti is kind of just cleaning house now? Or does he want to have Chris Paul there just for the remainder of the contract and see what happens from there? Or try to get some assets in return for this young team, for this young OKC team?
I can see a trade happening because I feel like Chris Paul, honestly, yeah, he had fun last season, but I feel like he wants to contend, bro. Like, I feel like he honestly wants to have to have a shot at a championship. And if he did what he did with the Thunder, and he can do that to the East, it's easy. Like, we just saw the Heat make it to the finals with Jimmy Butler, and I feel like CP3 can play a similar role to that on the Knicks, be that Jimmy Butler type of role, that locker room leader who galvanizes all the troops, all the young players, and make them play to their potential, and they can make a run in the playoffs. So I feel like if the Knicks want to have some relevancy, they should pull the trade, because I feel like Chris Paul is one of the guys you would pull the trade for. He's just that type of leader that I want on my team that can help turn a franchise around, because he's just that smart of a basketball mind. And you never know what he does. He might help improve Frank or improve Kevin Knox like he did with Shai and all those guys in the Thunder. Like, he's a player coach, so I really feel like it would work out for them if they did.
So do you think this is actually a storyline where the Knicks can actually make a smart move? Like a smart move that will actually like change around the culture?
Yeah, definitely. If they want to. But we know how New York owners are. We know how New York owners get.
We know how
So
we know how that works.
It's first-hand experience.
And also, like, I just wonder if Chris Paul, yeah, he wants to win, and he's definitely a competitor. So, but the only thing I question is, like, does he really want to go to the Knicks, knowing what that franchise has been through his entire time in the league, and just seeing it from afar, and knowing, like, the ins and outs of what players have actually said about this franchise. So that's the only thing.
Because I know Chris Paul is the leader of the Players Association,
right?
And he probably knows all the stories that's coming out about Dolla. So it always like, yeah, we want to go to the Knicks, but then it's like Dolan. I feel like that's what it's always going to be, whatever player it is.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it'll be a great opportunity to turn the Knicks around, but Dolan.
I just wonder if Chris Paul is going to be the actual one player to say, regardless of that, whether Dolan's here or not, I still want to come and try to change it.
Yeah, be like that Melo type of dude, and maybe bring Melo back over, and y'all can do it. That's your boy, y'all friends, y'all can work it.
Melo back in number 7, New York. I wish. Anyway, moving on to the NFL. Ravens are just reloading on talent. So they were planning on signing Des Bryant pending a fiscal, and within the same week they make a trade for Yannick Ngakoue. They traded a future 3rd and a future 5th. This is what a competent franchise does. A competent franchise that actually knows what they're doing, that are trying to do wherever they can to build a team around them to be better. And using the assets that they have to make it happen. Jets, just look at what the Ravens are doing. They're a confident franchise that goes after players. The case is still out on Dez whether he can come back and actually make an impact, but at least with Yannick Ngakoue, they spent a 3rd and a 5th. We have 2 future first-round picks. We can't even spend one of them trying to get a playmaker, try to get a pass rusher. We can't even spend one of those to even take a flyer.
Take a chance on anybody?
Take a chance on anybody?
Like, what do we have to lose sitting at 0-6, going to 0-7?
We have literally nothing to lose. And I hope this works out for the Ravens. I really do.
I really feel like the Ravens are just making moves to kind of protect Lamar, because they don't want him to get in situations like in the playoffs where he has to play from behind. So I feel like instead of building up the offense, I feel like they're trying to build that defense so they know, okay, this defense is solidified. Like, no matter what, we're not going to fall behind in big games. Like, he sees what the Chiefs are doing. He sees it. He's like, all right, they're all building a super offense. We have to build a defense. Like, I feel like the Ravens and the Bears, they're the 2 teams that we have to look out for, because when it comes to playoff time, that defense really kicks in, and is really what wins games. So I feel like that's what the Ravens and their organization is trying to build up right now. Not saying they don't have full faith in Lamar, but they just don't want to make him have to throw 40, 30 times for them to win a game. They want to make sure that he's playing within the offense, playing within his game. And so then when it comes to that time, he can make the right play instead of just forcing stuff like he's been in the past 2 playoffs.
Just make it easier on him.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it easier on your franchise quarterback.
Who you drafted in the first round.
At the end of the first round.
Yeah. So it's the Wild. They're moving that, and they drafted him at the 32nd pick, and we drafted Sam at the 3rd pick in that draft.
3rd pick. All right. Speaking of potential draft picks, this dude in college right now is playing his first game tomorrow. Justin Fields. His team yesterday played New York Giants. Justin Fields going to the Giants.
Justin Fields is going to the Giants, man.
That run and the strip sack at the end of the game by Daniel Jones pretty much just solidified it.
And the story coming out that Gettleman's on his last legs in New York, so yeah, it confirms it. They're cleaning house. They're getting ready to either pick Trevor or Justin.
And we're going to have a potential battle for New York. Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and a Giants and a Jets jersey. That's in play for next year. That's going to be wild.
And the media is mad. And the media is hating. They don't want to see New York get this. They don't want to see it so bad. Don't go to New Trevor, find me. Stay in 1 week. What are you getting out of that? Roddy White, shut up, please. Roddy White, I love you. Shut up. New York is the Mecca. Regardless of how y'all might feel, New York is the Mecca. If you make it here, you are going to blow. It's a different feeling, bro. Odell made 1 catch. He's been a star ever since.
Ever since off 1 catch.
Victor Cruz had a 1 or 2 playoff runs. Has been sauces everywhere. On ESPN to this day. He hasn't played in seasons. Eli still has Dunkin' Donut commercials. These are not all talent, all pro, super Hall of Fame players. If Eli was on the Chargers, he would have probably been an average quarterback. If Odell made that catch on the Vikings, we probably wouldn't really be talking about him that much. But they did it in New York. So it's a different feeling. And imagine Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick to the Jets, replacing Broadway Joe Namath. You don't know how much attention he's going to get. You don't know how many endorsement deals he's going to get stepping off that plane into New York. But y'all telling him to stay in college and risk an injury. He saw what happened to Tua last year. He saw Tua be the consensus number 1 pick for a whole summer. Not even a summer, for a whole 2 years since he looked at defender on Georgia and made that touchdown and won the game. He was the number 1 pick ever since then. You think he was going to... And then he got hurt, and then what happened? He didn't get number 1. You think Trevor's going to risk that? And for all these media personalities to keep telling him stay in, pull a Eli Manning. Eli Manning pulled that move to go to New York.
He wanted to be in New York because he didn't want to be in San Diego.
John Elway didn't want to be in Baltimore.
What are you talking about? Does San Diego still have a team?
No.
They were the San Diego Chargers. Now they're the Los Angeles Chargers.
Does Baltimore Colts, do they exist? No, they went to
Indianapolis.
Stop trying to compare that to this. This is not that. Didn't y'all say the same thing about Joe Burrow last year?
The same thing, and yet he still wound up getting drafted by the Bengals.
Is the Jets that much worse than the Bengals organization? No. Is the Jets that much worse than the Washington football team? No. The Jaguars? No. These are all trash teams. You're going to be a number 1 pick. You're going to a trash team regardless. So this whole media frenzy that the media has been trying to pump up the past weeks, please stop it, bro. Trevor's coming to the Jets. He's saving us. We got to have the battle of New York for the next 10 years. Trevor and Justin, bro. And it's going to kick off in the national championship this year. It's going to be like Larry and Magic, bro. That's what it's going to be.
I see 2 football icons perform in the national championship game and then battle it out for the next decade. Roger Goodell, this is literally your future.
It's so easy.
It's literally your future for the NFL for the next decade. And on top of that, you have Saquon already in New York. You already have the best running back in New York. Make it happen. Just do it. Just do whatever you have to. Just do whatever you have to.
It's that easy, man.
So easy. But anyway, moving on. The fact that Antonio Brown is somehow potentially could wind up on the Seattle Seahawks, and we can't even take a flyer on him.
And we can't.
Take
He's
a flyer
too
on him.
much of a locker room risk. The locker room has been risked already. It's shot already, my guy.
It's shot. We don't want Gase as our head coach.
Since he was hired, we have not wanted this man.
No, not one time. I can't tell you a happy moment I was with Adam Gase. Cannot tell you a happy moment with him as our head coach. Can't. Not even one.
The fact that they saw what he did in Miami, saw him trade away Jarvis Landry, trade away all his stars. You saw that he's in the division. It's like, nah, let's come over here and let him do the same thing to us. Trade away Jamal. Release Le'Veon. Let him go to a super team. Trade away Steve McClendon, our captain.
Ruining Sam's career. Yeah, we don't know what Sam's gonna look like after this year.
Honestly, bro, I just hope Sam goes to a situation where he is appreciated, bro. I really hope he goes to either the Colts or the Steelers, bro. I feel like if he just sits behind Phillip Rivers or Ben Roethlisberger, just learn and just take over that offense, he can be a star in this league, bro. Don't send him nowhere where he has to go and do it again.
Gotta try to prove himself all over again when he was the consensus #1 pick of his draft and was the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Like, he shouldn't have to prove himself over again.
Yeah, I'd say send him over there. Just let him sit behind those two grades and learn. And then when he's ready, he's going to come out, show the world what he should have shown us in New York. But y'all hired Adam Gase, and that was that. But we got Trevor out of it, so.
You got Trevor out, and hopefully a good head coach out of it, too.
Yeah, man. Eric, you know what to do, man. Come, coach Trevor. You see Trevor every week. You see what he's doing. You know you can do what you did with Pat Wynn. You know it in your mind. Come to the Jets, bro. Forget that they didn't hire you 2 years ago. Come in there with your 2 rings at the end of the season. Put them on the table. And be like, I want it all. I want the coaches. I want everything. And they're going to give it to you, bro. And that's that. And Jets, do not mess this up, bro. Don't come in here with your cockiness. We have nothing to be cocky about. We have nothing to hold our nose up high about. We are trash. Booty cheeks. Y'all better give this man whatever he wants. For real, bro. Like,
just give him whatever you want. Just hand him the keys. Let him sign the contract. Give him everything.
Change it to the New York Erics, man. Like, whatever you need to do.
The enemies.
Like, the enemies, man. Like,
whatever you want, bro. Whatever you want. But real quick, Tua's gonna start.
Tua's gonna die.
Tua's gonna start and gonna die. Imagine getting hurt in college. You have to rehab for like a year and a half.
An injury that people say, how do you even come back from that? That's a career injury. You got that in college.
You got that in college, so you have to work for like a year and a half in rehab just to try to come back from that. Get a couple reps against the Jets, late in the game, feeling good. Coach says, you know what, Tua, you're gonna be our starter. Brian Flores, you're gonna be our starter. Yeah, we're playing the Rams next with Big Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Coach, I'll sit out this one.
Coach, you sure you don't want have Ryan Fitzpatrick do his thing for like a couple more games?
Yeah, we only play the Rams every 4 years. I'm good. I'm good off this game, Coach. I'll catch him next 4 years when I'm that guy.
Yeah, when I'm actually developed.
Yeah, but
and I got a sturdy offensive line.
Yeah, my first game with no solid offensive tackle.
Album, 25 songs, just under an hour. Slappers, banger after banger, bro. Right now, this is probably my top 4 for like album of the year. Right now, it's probably in my top 4. All first listen. What about you, man?
I really enjoyed it. At first, I got scared, bro, because It was a couple songs, like the first beginning of that Dirk song. I was like Ty. Like I didn't want Ty to start sounding like other artists, bro. And it was like one song he kind of sounded like Gunner, and I was like, bro, just be Ty. But then once we got into that real part of the album, like after that Dirk song, we got into that Janae song, and then we got into the song with Kalani. And then that's when he started getting into his bag. But like you said, it's a banger album, bro. And off first listen, bro, some of my favorite songs is probably Your Turn. That's definitely...
We have to talk about that in a second.
Yeah, but off the first listen, my favorite song overall off the album probably would be Universe, bro.
Universe?
Yeah, I just love that song. And you know me, bro. If you play guitar in the background of the song, bro, you got me. And that's all you need to do, bro. And so Universe right now, and definitely Lift Yourself Up. That's the one with Future and Thug. Lift Me Up.
Lift Me Up.
I told y'all that
Toxic King.
the Toxic King was coming, bro. He saw what Offset was doing, bro. He saw the rumblings, bro. He saw the energy the timeline was giving Offset. He probably saw the pod. I know Future watching. He saw the pod. He saw me proclaim Offset the king. I proclaimed him the king too fast. Too fast. Because Future Randros came on this track and was speaking to Lori. He was speaking to Lori Harvey, bro.
What happened in Bora Bora?
What happened in Bora Bora, Lori? We need to know. That's all we asking, bro.
We waiting. But great album. For me, some of my favorite songs off there, that Double R with the Lil Durk verse, I really liked. I also like Expensive with the Nicki Minaj verse. Tyrone 2021. That's probably my top 2 right now. And then of course, Your Turn. Your Turn is in the running for best song of the year right now. It is up there with Savage Anthem and up there with Again. The fact that this is why like Ty's a GOAT for this, honestly. He's a GOAT. The fact that you're able to get off, like, yo, it's your turn. Like, this isn't gonna go anywhere. Like, I'm realistically not gonna cuff you. Realistically, it's probably not gonna happen. We're probably gonna mess around for a couple of weeks. I may eventually fall into it with somebody else. I may just decide, you know what, this is cool. I'm a dip. It was just your turn though. Like, no hard feelings. Honestly, like, it was cool. We enjoyed the moment, and it was a moment. It was just a moment. It was your turn, and that was it. Like, but don't sit there and be sad, because it was also like just my turn for you too. Like, throughout it, like, honestly, really listen to this song, bro. Like, I'm really listening. I'm like, wow, like, that's really all relationships are when you really think about it. It's just your turn at the end of the day, until like you make it seem like it's gonna be something more. Then that's when it gets tricky. But for the most part, it's like, yo, like, it's just your turn. It's like, okay, you're the person I'm gonna be talking to for the next 4 months. Oh, okay. So this is where it's gonna go. But overall, just, it's a great song.
This song is great in principle. I've been in a situation where I tried to get this off, and it doesn't work.
And that's exactly why I say Ty is a GOAT for that. That's exactly the reason why. Because if you realistically try to have that conversation, it's gonna end bad. It's going to end very badly. The only person that can get this off is Ty Dolla $ign and Future. And Drake.
I was about to say Drake could have had a feature.
Those are the only 3 people in this world that are able to get off, yo, it was just your turn. That's it. The door is that way. Like, but speak on it, bro. Like, speak on that experience, though.
It's just a tricky situation when you have to be like, yo, this little 2-week thing was great, but like, I have a girlfriend and I have to go. So like, thanks for your time. Thanks for your contributions to what we had. I would definitely send you a letter of recommendation if you need one, but contract has expired. Your time has come. So
it was a contract year.
It was that was all it was, man. I have to get back to my girl. Like,
like me and her, we were just going through it for like a little bit. That's all it was.
Just a little 2-week break, but I'm going back to her though. I don't love you like that. Like, honestly, we met at a club and you danced on me. Like, I don't know why you thought I was gonna cuff you.
Why do you think I was any different?
Like, my man's recommended you. Like, like, I don't know why they try to act confused, bro. Like, you know that.
You know what time it is. You already know. Your friends are telling you. Your friends are telling you you know what it is.
Like, you know you're the weekend work, bro. Like, SZA acknowledged that she knew she was the weekend.
She was the weekend chick.
But some girls, they don't know, bro. And now I'm just gonna play this song in the background after we done. That's gonna be the closer to the bedroom playlist right there. After I get off my stuff, I'm like, whoo. And while she cleaning it up, while she picking all that stuff up, that's playing while she exits the door, bro. So for that part, I thank you, Ty, for releasing this song, because I now have a new song to add to the playlist when I've got to kick Shawty out. It's your turn. Your time has come.
It's your turn. Just remember that. It's just your turn.
It's just your turn, bro.
Don't take it personal. It's just your turn, though.
Don't take it personal.
And with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for us. Anything more you want to add and say?
That's it, bro. Just stay up, bro.
Stay up. Stay safe out there, y'all. And we'll catch you on the next one.